Welcome back. In these videos, we're looking at solving absolute value equations. We're going to look at some problems where we're actually solving an equation. So this is going to take multiple steps to get to the solution. Remember, solving equations, we are making true statements. Now the process of solving an absolute value equation is pretty simple. Our first thing we want to do is isolate the absolute value because remember, in terms of PEMDAS, absolute value are brick wall parentheses. So we want to isolate the absolute value first. We cannot distribute anything inside the parentheses. So we want to, or inside the absolute value. So we need to isolate the absolute value. Then we need to split our absolute value into two parts. One as the positive side and one as the negative. Then we need to solve each of those equations, and then we need to check both of our solutions in our original problem to see if they do make a true statement. All right, so step one is isolate. I want to isolate just the absolute value. So to get absolute value on its own here, I'm going to divide both sides by -3. That's going to give me the absolute value of x plus 4 is equal to 7. Now that I have something in the form where I have an absolute value is equal to a number, I'm going to divide that up into two statements. The first statement is that the inside of my absolute value, x plus 4, is equal to positive 7, which is the other side of my equation. At the second equation I'm going to write is the inside of the absolute value, which is x plus 4, is equal to the opposite. So that will be -7. Now, I'm going to go through and solve each of these. So I'm going to subtract 4, and that will give me x is equal to 3. Subtract 4 from each side, and that will give me x is equal to -11. My last step is that I need to check. So let's go through and check this. If I check x is equal to 3, you need to make sure that you check in your original equation and we simplify sides, we don't solve. So that's going to be -3 times the absolute value of 3 plus 4 is equal to -21. -3 times the absolute value of 7 is equal to -21. The absolute value of 7 is 7. -3 times 7 is -21. That is a true statement, so x equals 3 is a solution. It makes a true statement, so x equals 3 is a solution. Now let's check to see if x equals -11 is also a solution. So -3 times the absolute value of -11 plus 4 is equal to -21. -3 times the absolute value of -7 is equal to -21. The absolute value of -7 is positive 7. So this gives me -21 is equal to -21. This is also a true statement. So x equals 11 is a true statement. So in the case of this particular problem, there are two values for the variable x that will make this statement true. Sometimes there will be one, there might not be any values of x that make this statement true. But in this particular problem, I have two values of x that make a true statement.